morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling. It's my swan song for 2025.
Wait, what?
That's it.
This
gone.
your last show?
I'm gone till New Year's Day. Baby.
That's why we're having a company party on Wednesday.
right, exactly. Yes.
Well, you'll be missed.
It'll be a month of partying.
He's
actually.
still with it. You're going to be in Jamaica. You're going to be on the shows,
will
just
be
in Jamaica next weekend.
I will be in Jamaica. Maggie and I will be down in Jamaica, and looking forward to that. The Mute Mile. Javier Castellano's coming down as well to ride. It'd be nice to see him down there. See more of him down there than I see him around here. Anyway, that'll be fun. But we've got a pick six carryover today. I was saying to you, this is a very hard card in the sense that, first of all, you had a bias yesterday, which we'll talk about a bit, but you don't know if it's still because it could be gone, and there is expected to be some rain coming in. Nothing huge, but some showers at the very least. And, I mean, I think that Man in Finance at 2-1 is the biggest morning line favorite in the sequence on the card.
I believe you're right, and who you're against, by the way, and it does not have to win that race by any stretch.
I'm not way against him.
Yeah, but there's a couple of legitimate contenders against him in there for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting race, which we'll talk about. You head over to Naira Bets. Bonus 200 is the promo code. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Head over to Naira Bets for more information. NairaBets.com. Pick six carryover, race
Double
4.
pick six carryover.
Double pick six carryover. $79,410. By the way, Performance of the Day was the winner of the last race yesterday. I don't think that John Ortiz will be running that horse on the dirt again. Yeah. Finishing up, it was quite a 1 week performance by John Ortiz and TriStar, winning 3 races over the course of just, I think, 4 racing days. Anyway, we've got a $5,000 hit and split late pick 5, which, of course, comes the race after pick 6. We've got a 10% win bonus at Del Mar, closing day there, the Matriarch. Post time a little after 6:30 today.
They have a carryover in
early pick 5. Yes,
yeah.
They do. Early pick 5. And Churchill, we've got a 10% winners bonus. They have I think they have a mandatory giveaway in there. I am loath, you can move on to Churchill. I am loath to in any way promote jackpot bets. I don't understand how in 2025 racetracks still have jackpot bets. Churchill, Chelsea, you having a problem with that? Hello? We frozen in time here? There we go. No? Oh, wait a sec. Now that's, okay. I believe the 10% win bonus, despite what the slate says, is at Churchill today, which also has closing day, and they have the mandatory payout. 12 to 2:30 on FS2.
I'll be on
FS1,
early, by the way.
Greg and I will be on together from then. You will be on hosting the first half of the FS2 portion. I will be on the second half. I think Jonathan and Paul Verderosa joining me.
You're going to be hosting?
I am hosting, so you'll want
so you're coming for my job.
Actually, I host occasionally to be sure that I would never come for your job. And don't worry, your hosting career is safe as long as I do some hosting.
No, you do a
you get a promotion, actually, when they watch me host for a little while. Race number 1. Big scratch in here. Let's get weird. Well, also, he was potentially the controlling speed in this race. So you take out a major player and the potential speed, and doesn't it really enhance the chances of the horse I have second against a kind of ridiculous pick and you have on top?
Yes.
I love Liberty Rising. I hope he wins today for Pat. I've picked him the last couple of times.
He's got several races that make him, way the horse to beat it in the spot. But, there's Chili Cheesesteak, interesting first-time starter.
Correct.
Who I have second. Don't know what you're going to get from that one. And then some droppers, and the horse,
You don't like my 7 at all, which is fine. I may be a terrible pick. Gets a pick, switch to Manny Franco. I thought, now, this horse has a problem on yesterday's racetrack. Because even if Manny's aggressive, the best he's doing is chasing a little bit outside, right? So...
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be too far out of it, right?
I know, but... and talking about yesterday's track, where, in my opinion, we had a strong inside bias, and it's fair for some people to point out, you saw a couple of races fall apart later in the day. I believe it's a function of the fact that they had extremely strong 3- and 4-horse pace duels in there, with everybody being conscious of the racetrack. But I think it's a reasonable point to bring up. And listen, you can have a bias one day and not a bias the next.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you're playing, pick 6, especially with a double carryover, pay intense attention to how things are playing this afternoon. But yeah, what was it, race by race 4 or 5, we saw jockeys changing what they do.
Yeah, I think after the Noda horse won a little bit.
Okay.
After the first one, what's her name? The former good horse, the former speed horse that drew off at 7 furlongs. The horse that used to be 10 strike, had the rail.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look it up.
It's a New York bred. Anyway, used to be a stakes horse. Anyway, ran like a stakes horse yesterday. I just thought that Rodolphe had run a couple of figures that were fast enough to compete here, gets a rider switch to Manny Franco, and if he could find those better figs, he had a chance to pull the upset and here at a price. I was just looking for somebody because I really didn't want to take Liberty Rising on top. I picked him last time. He's the horse to beat. I just didn't want to take him at what's going to end up being a short price. The horse that's 2-1 right now that's sort of co-favored on the morning line, Dormello. Do we have any idea if this horse can run even a step?
No, but he's a danger because look, it's Mott. It's a horse who took a lot of money in his state bred maiden special in his debut at Saratoga, and that's his only dirt start. And then they put him on grass. So, and they had a blinkers there.
Now he's in for 30.
I mean, you have to. You can't. Taking all that money against a better group, he could probably run.
I don't know. I don't know if he can run at this
against
point.
this. You don't have to run much against this group either, right?
Yeah, but I'll put it this way: he wins, I lose. I get it. He could win. Obviously, I picked a horse that's kind of ridiculous. So who am I?
I don't know if
any
you
pick?
did. So one of the reasons I liked the 4 so much was not just that it was going to be low in speed. Yes, that was a huge reason. Also, kind of like the race he was coming out of, that game bred race. Rodolphe was in that game bred race back on September the 26th.
Yes.
Game bred actually was dropping from state bred
and
maiden
he
special
won
when he
2
won that
starts
race.
later.
Yes, against 50
Last
and
week.
well. So I actually kind of like that race. So I don't think that's a crazy pick. I know I don't have
I'm
him in my
betting
top
him.
4, but
No problem. I'm going to be betting him in here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Chili Cheesesteak's taking some early money. You've got second. There's just no pedigree on this horse. I know Honest Mischief's been okay, but the damn side, she's produced like 9 horses. 4 of them were bad, and 5
Yeah.
of them never ran. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in race number 1. We'll see if the 1 just finally found the right field. Race number 2, no surprise that Linda scratched one of her 2 entrants, and we'll start with K-Cup. And K-Cup might be the biggest favorite on today's card, and this is the Bowery. And I don't, bias or no bias, if she runs a race she ran the Bowery, she's probably going to win this race. I just wasn't totally trusting of her after her last race. That's all.
fine. I mean, and that was, I just, that was a mile and an eighth. She did take a little bit of a step back. I don't think it was as horrible as this buyer speed figures have it as it looks on paper. It's just a much superior group of horses she has
I
faced
know.
for her whole body of work, and she has even 2 and 3 back and 4 back. All those races, I feel like, win here pretty convincingly.
I'm not against her. I picked a horse against her, but I am not against her in this race. What I am interested in is how this race is run, because the pace projector has the 3 in front, and if we have a bias, you're supposed to throw Bam's Bliss Kiss in. But as we show you city blocks in here, I find it hard to believe, especially the way the track played yesterday, that you're not going to get a similar type ride from Ricardo Santana. Now, Bam's Bliss Kiss is a faster horse.
Yes.
But I don't think Ricardo is just conceding the lead with this horse, do you?
No,
Maybe it
but
doesn't
I
matter
just
what he
think,
does.
Yeah, I think inherently the 3 would be quicker. But look, City Blocks still could get a great trip, sit right behind that horse. This horse
Right.
has actually been able to sit off and win. City Blocks. That was a huge jump forward in a win from that one last start.
I
which
agree.
A little bit so big that it concerned me. I want to see it again.
I agree, and it was 3 months ago.
Yeah,
Maybe Eddie, maybe she
But-
came out of a mild issue. But, it's
she's
also
interesting. Yeah,
fair to say she really improved for Eddie. I mean, you look at her last Eddie had her for 5 races, and her last 4 races, 4 of the 5 races for Eddie, were considerable improvements for her before. Now, Eddie had her in the past, but she also ran okay a little for Eddie in the past. She was a better horse for him. Now, I don't love her in today's race. You've got her second, but I think she's a threat. And as you say, she sits right in the inside behind the 3 Bam's Bliss Kiss, and if you have yesterday's track, she gets the right kind of trip. Now, these picks are based on the track being fair. I am not going to alter my picks because of yesterday's track. I thought Embraceable Gal was a very interesting claim by Linda Rice, and she is a horse, if she can get back to her best races, I thought she had a chance to win this, and I strictly took this horse off of the Linda claim.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly dangerous. 15 of her 30 starts, she's been first or second. 7 wins. She's going to, cut back a touch here where.
She's not beating K-Cup if K-Cup runs her good race.
Of course
I don't care what
Of course
happens.
not. But she does have races, I thought 2, 3 back that were very dangerous in here, and she's going in the right direction, I feel like, late in the year.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting claim by Linda. We'll see what happens.
I mean, some of these horses, even City Blocks. I know City Blocks had to start last time out, totally different horse, but one against condition claiming. Same case for the 3. These just such an edge of who K-Cup's been
if K-Cup
taking
runs
on.
her race, she's going to beat these horses. I just am a little bit worried about her last race. She should have run a bit better in there.
Yep.
I mean, she really was bad in there, so that scared me a little bit. Huge scratch in race number 3 with the 7 coming out. It also changes the pace scenario, and if you have yesterday's track, can you make a case that Winter's Ghost wires the field? Just saying. Here's the speed of the 7 out. But you know what? I think 6 Kings goes a little bit, but I also think Bold Endeavor. I mean, I don't know what to do with Bold Endeavor off, what do we believe about this? But it's not as though he doesn't have good back form. And I know this race was at Parks, and he's got to bring the Parks form here. But he has run well here in the past.
That's the thing for me.
Excuse me.
Yes, it was a big race, but it's a big race he's produced before, and he has produced in New York before. He ran a figure this big in April at Aqueduct when he won. He ran it April 17th. He ran it February 23rd. He ran it January 23rd, all here in New York in wins. So I'm not concerned. This horse is just – he likes to win. He runs big races. He's so much better, I think, than anyone in this field. 9 years old, and he's still running his top races.
I mean, he's probably going to be a shorter price than K-Cup now with the scratch of Suerte, right?
Yeah, good point.
And it's interesting that the 2 biggest favorites in the card are before the pick 6. And, my feeling, the pick 6, it's funny. I've had this argument before because, in times when we've had like 4-horse features with a 3 to 5 shot or 2 to 5 shot, they've left them out of the pick 6. I disagree with that philosophy. I think it's better for players to have a potential free bingo square. I just think it makes it a little bit more playable. This is a very tough pick 6 we're about to enter into because there's nowhere to lean.
Okay. I'd rather not have, but different opinion.
I think it's just, like I always felt in the past, and I used to argue with my friend PJ Campo when he was the racing secretary running racing down at Gulfstream, when they would have those mandatory payouts in the horrible Rainbow Six, the worst thing brought into racing in my lifetime. And he would have like 6 27-horse fields. And I'd say, like, you got to give people a chance. You got to have a couple of 6 and 7-horse fields in there. I mean, the problem is, to be frank, when they do that, now we don't have CAW in our pick 6, but you are catering, and as we know, they've catered to the CAW teams. You're catering it to help the big players, the people putting a lot of money. I think you want to give the little guy a chance. And when you have all of those big fields and make it hard, you're not going to hit the thing for $36. And you want to feel like the smaller player, and that's a 20-cent play. I just want to think the small players have a chance.
Okay.
Especially considering those carryovers and jackpots are built on the backs of small players.
Yeah.
And I think if you're built, it's different in our pick 6. It's a little different story. But when you're dealing with that bet, anyway, bigger discussion. See what happens as we get to the pick 6 with the carryover, $79,410, I believe is the number. We'll start with race number 4, and we'll show that's the Fact Jack and Spirit of Esther. Now, on yesterday's racetrack, are you confident the Spirit of Esther is the controlling speed?
No,
Because
I'm not.
Both potentially the 6, but also Furry Fox have some speed.
Yeah.
I don't know about Spirit of Esther in here, and I definitely don't know about that's the Fat Jack, who's 1 for 23, but did run okay last time.
Yeah, I mean, ran pretty good rolling by Spirit of Esther, who, Spirit of Esther actually I felt like did do some hard running in here.
I agree.
Had to battle head-to-head with Toxic Girl, who wound up winning the race. And
you could say that that's a Fact Jack kind of picked up pieces, right?
Yes, you can. But there's a good chance that's going to happen again today because I do think the 6 has a good chance to be the one in front.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Balticlara. And either this is an excellent pick or a horrible pick. I don't think there's middle ground with this horse. I mean, this may turn out to be the worst claim that Linda ever made, paying $30,000 for a horse that was running at Sunland Park in Zia. Having said that, and she did not lift a hoof last time, and you've taken, we've taken completely opposite approaches in this race because basically we handicapped the race exactly the same, save this horse. And you've taken the opinion of she sucks, and she might. But I also wonder if this is the kind of horse that Linda's just found the right field with, and so I put her on top.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, her speed makes her incredibly dangerous.
She
It's
might
a drop.
She might be hopeless. She had me speed last time. Anyway, talk about Cha-Cha Ren.
Blenheim Baby, right?
Blenheim Babe, excuse me.
I just thought this one was interesting as I kind of went through this race more and more. I originally was thinking to go to the rail, but I just couldn't do it. Blenheim Baby, I think, has had stops and starts, and there's excuses. Look, went to the bench on late June of 24. I could forgive that 25 N2L coming back off a long layoff. Ran a distant third for 25. Then goes into a 40 N2L, and we don't see the horse again for 7 months. So I forgive that performance. I'm not concerned about it. Then 7-month layoff comes back, and for 30 N2L, 6 beat 7.5 lengths. Needed that race coming back. I think we're going to see a real not like this horse is some kind of star, but at least now the horse has a fighting chance to build on a start coming back where it's been a lot of gaps and stops and starts.
More than fair. I have a much simpler approach here. I took the 2 drop downs. I put the 2 drop downs 1-2 in here. There's a huge difference between the 30s and the 17 numbers of 2 lifetime. Huge difference. So I just went with the droppers. The worry with Blenheim Babe, and I know you won't disagree with this, is Source has been in some pretty sharp barns. Eddie Keneally, Linda Rice, kind of been through the mill, but is second off a layoff and dropping, and I'm with you. I would use 6s and 5s. If I was playing a small pick 6, I would use 6s and 5s as my main 2 horses. I may have a C here and there, but they would be the 2 that I would lean on.
But I mean, this is the kind of race where nothing
is going to shock me in here. Can we take a break after this race so I can clear my throat, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about, thank you, Chelsea, we'll talk about the late pick 5 in just a moment.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Kicks off the pick. I probably am very stupid to have left first or game for it because it appears that every horse that Chad Summers is running is basically running off the screen these days. So I guess I'm crazy. This horse has fast works. This horse will probably be a real favorite here with those works, huh? Apparently I was sleeping on that one.
Dan was the first out winner, granted on synthetic, but did win on dirt.
There's some pedigree.
Produced a 9-time winner all on dirt, including first out, first 2, seed of success.
Known agenda at 6 furlongs bothered me a little bit, the sire, but I don't know why I care about that. To be honest with you, I also tend to lean away from firsters as top choices. And not that you put this horse on top. I don't want to guess with firsters. When I do, I end up usually looking foolish. Not that I don't look foolish when I don't put them on top. So we'll see. This horse is obviously a horse that I probably should have included somewhere in there and didn't, especially you consider how much that horse improved yesterday. I'm really interested in a horse you don't have in the top 4, and that's Sixer. And you and I saw this race pretty differently, for better or worse. I want to show Sixer. I just want to show the beginning, the first couple hundred yards. This horse, you're going to see you're going to see what happens in the head-on when we show it. It's just completely shuffled out of the race back to last, and I actually thought did a little bit of running in there afterwards, and it wasn't that bad a field. If we want to pick up the head-on at this point, you'll see what happens with this horse, because break's fine, right? But then those horses come
Pinballed,
over and just totally cut him off and take him out of the race, and I think, who knows? I'm not even sure this horse couldn't be a bit forward in this race. Who knows we have? So I went to 6er off the trouble in the first start. Simple as that.
Okay, 6-1 morning line. Start number 2, see what we get. I guess this it's an interesting race. It's a tough one. I went to the 8 in here, who went on, was on turf last start. I think is the speed of the speed, and we don't know what we're going to get from these couple of firsters.
Right. I mean, isn't game for it if he's live?
Very
gonna
good
be a
chance
speed?
he's going to be
That's
a speed.
the thing,
But the 8 has turf sprint speed. So there's a pretty good chance he is the quick, no matter, even if that horse is quick, this horse might be even quicker. He's shown it already. He's proved it already. And look who he's faced. I mean, Bobrovsky, very talented, who he had to face in his debut. He was a distant second to. He finished ahead of Imagine John. Imagine John came back and beat him next start, who was a horse who before that race was actually a distant third in the Sanford as a maiden. And I just felt the last time we saw him on the dirt, and it's because he was quick and he went to the inside, but he got a little intimidated down on the inside. So maybe if he can stay off having horses outside of him, which I don't know if that's going to happen.
Not sure you want that to happen. That's the problem.
Yeah. But if he could be far enough in front, maybe it doesn't matter.
I don't disagree with anything you've said. I just don't trust this horse. I just wonder if he's a horse that could be declining. He is a new gelding. He's had a couple of months since his last start. I probably should have had him higher. I did. I just decided to go with 2 that ran and 2 firsters, and I included what I worry I worry about them being sort of cranked up early and falling apart in subsequent starts. I do. I'm not there. I don't. This is not a barn who I find to be particularly reliable. I think John's an excellent trainer, but I do not think his horses run with a great deal of reliability, to be honest with you. What about Fort Griffin? You don't think he's going to be forward in here? I mean, he was pretty quick first time out. Do you think Manny's not going to go with him?
Yeah, I do. He can. I think the 8's quicker.
Really? Okay. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, Fort Griffin has turf sprint speed too. So I'm not sure I agree with you on that. I'm not sure. And, we don't know about firsters. What about firsters? I mean, we both have the deposit horse in there, Adam on the Grill, who doesn't have a lot of pedigree, but I love Street Bosses.
That's another one who we don't know what kind of speed this horse have. He may have some. He's got a bullet drill, quickest of, is that 178 in the morning?
Does have Ricardo.
4 furlongs?
Yeah.
He might be quick. It's unknowns. I just,
this is
a difficult race.
Extremely tricky race. Okay, you can look at, you're playing the pick 6. You should definitely look at doubles and see what horses are taking action. But this is, you look at David's line. He's got nobody at a particularly big price, and the favorite is 3-1. This is a very, very hard race because it's not like the ones that ran have done that much running. I mean, you can make cases for them. You and I have. Whether we're right or not remains to be seen. And you've got firsters, a lot of whom could be live. I don't even think the 2 Ducks is totally ridiculous.
I don't
We've
either.
seen Carlos Martin have horses that
That's
win.
the 9, yeah.
Yeah, that'll run on the turf and win in the dirt. And a lot depends on the racetrack. And we may get a little bit of rain. We're not supposed to get a lot of rain, but we may get enough that affects the track a little bit.
Yeah. And that horse showed a little bit of pace, turf sprinting in the debut, and now puts blinkers on. So
he's doomed to chase outside. On yesterday's track, he's not going to get the kind of trip to win it. It is a very difficult race in the pick 6 and starts the pick 5 as well. Race number 6 is one that I might take a small shot and just use the 1 and 3. And you've gone in a pretty much a different direction than I have in here. But why don't we start? I don't have any videos. Why don't you start and talk about your pick Until Last Call, who tries the dirt for the first time?
Yeah, okay. So we're talking about the 7 in here for Jimmy Ryerson. Jose Lizcano will be aboard. I think there's a great chance this horse is on the lead.
He's fast.
And we'll take this field gate to wire. He's been very quick in 2 turf sprints. Now he gets on dirt for the first time. Disco partner on the dirt. I mean, we'll see. I'm guessing he can run on the dirt. I don't know. But blinkers come off. He's still going to be in front, can relax and finish, hopefully, is the plan today.
There is just no dirt pedigree in there. That Dam was a good dirt horse. I mean, Jimmy has no choice. You got to give the horse a shot in the dirt, or he's just not going to run her all winter, and he's doing that. And I think quietly Jimmy's had a very good year. Horses have run well. I mean, you look and somebody says, well, he's winning at 10%. Jimmy Ryerson winning at 10% with the barn that he has, he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And, he's had some good 2-year-olds this year, to be fair. But I agree. He's a wild card in here. I mean, Louis Rivera, if we have yesterday's track, I mean, Michelle Nevin and Louis Rivera cannot give up the lead easily with Island Charlie, who does have a lot of speed. And I just think he's going to be very tough as the inside speed. But you didn't find Frickin' Frack interesting in here for my man Bruce Levine?
I forgive that debut. And, yeah, he's a little interesting.
Comes out of the Game Bred race, dropping down.
You know who I'm really interested in this race?
Hello, Newman.
Yes. I mean,
I agree.
Obviously, the way the track played yesterday does not help him. He was last early. He was picking off horses in what was his dirt debut. He did a lot of running. He had every right to get tired in that race. I thought he showed some real ability for the level.
He would be far and away my third use in here. I would have him somewhere. I mean, he's the morning line second choice. I agree. Of the horse that ran, I prefer the one to him because he has more speed, and that's even on a fair racetrack. But I agree. He can absolutely win this race.
I mean, the one's more route speed to me.
Yeah, but with the rail, he's got to go. You got to protect the rail, man. You got to protect that position. And I don't think you want to. I mean, we don't even know if the 7 can run on the dirt. That's the other thing. So we'll see what happens in race number 6. Race number 7. Race number 7 is a very, very, very interesting race, and obviously it's problematic if we have the track like yesterday. But I think if we have a track like yesterday, this horse Disarmed, who I don't particularly like, you've got him second, I've got him third. He's the horse to beat if we have yesterday's racetrack, layoff or not. Rudy's numbers off layoff stink.
He is the speed of this group. And he's been off since March, so he's fresh. So he is going to fire out of there, and they're going to gun for the front.
He runs this race, and we have anything close to yesterday's track, this field's in trouble.
Yep, I agree. Having said that, I'm surprised that we both wound up with a 4.
Well, we'll get to him in 1 second. I'm going to say Rudy, 6 to 12 month layoffs, 180 to 360 day dirt sprints, 3 for 30, 10%, 11 hitting the board, 63 cent ROI. These horses often need a race off layoffs. Talk about Let It Ride, and I'll tell you if I have anything to add. I have a very strong opinion about this horse.
He's going to be right behind the 5 probably. He has an opportunity to be right there. I mean, he is quick early, and he's got buried form. He's been on turf for he's effective on both.
He's
but
okay on turf.
He's better on dirt, no question. And, when he broke his maiden, he actually did a gate to wire going a mile. Then 7/8, he's forward. He's third against Factually Correct in a race that came off the grass. Who Factually Correct we're going to see in later in the
Moves boldly, who was the horse yesterday for the notice, by the
this
way.
horse is very good against a lot better company than a lot of these horses. And I think getting back to dirt for him, I think is going to be the right move. I just like the buried form, and I like he's productive at this racetrack. And
He'd be Subrogate
I think
when
he gets
broke
a
his
good
maiden.
trip.
One of the things I find most fascinating in the game is the somewhat mismanagement of horses. And I almost think that, they just kept looking and said, oh, he's a turf horse because he keeps riding the turf. I don't believe he's a turf horse. He's not a bad turf horse, as you said. He's a better dirt horse.
Yeah.
And I just look at him and I think, I don't know why they just kept entering him in one turf sprint after another when this is where he belongs. And I believe they're putting him in a race that he just belongs in. And I think on a fair racetrack, he's going to be very hard to beat. But we'll take a look at Exploration, and we'll see. This is a tough race. They're all tough to make morning lines. David's got Exploration the favorite. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He's dropping. I don't know. I'm not sure a horse like this could be favored. Take a look at his race 2 back. I will tell you one thing. He runs a race 2 back. He's going to be tough on a fair racetrack. He's not winning on yesterday's racetrack unless there's a supersonic 4-horse pace tool, which doesn't appear to materialize. But on a fair racetrack, he's a pretty logical horse. Is he going to be favored in here? I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't want to make a line. I'd get it wrong every time. David gets it right most of the time.
Just, I guess, off the drop.
I guess. But he's not really faster than other horses in here. I mean, our horse is as fast as him in his dirt races, I do think he's very dangerous. I mean, you and I saw this race extremely
4
similar.
and 5 are going to take it. 4 and 5 are going to be nowhere
They're
near.
going to be taking a lot of money in here. I especially Let It Ride. You're not fooling horse players. Horse players look at Let It Ride, and they see the same things we do. They see a horse that's probably been running on the wrong surface, and he's got dirt races that are tough. Rhythm Nick's got that huge figure last time, and it's been a long time since he ran a kind of number down at Oaklawn against Payne. But he ran okay last time out. I will say that. But that was a muddy sealed track going a mile. But he might get a wet track again. But he's not the controlling speed.
There's no chance for him to get that trip. Yeah.
No, unless the 5 just completely doesn't get out of the gate. But
Well, and if he doesn't, I saw that then the 4 is going to be there.
I think the 4's got to be aggressive. I'm impressed by Jamie Rodriguez, by the way. He's
3-win
come
day
here
yesterday.
doing very, very well. It's a good race. But
Yeah.
you and I are basically on the same page in race number 7. So race number 8. We'll start with Man in Finance. And what Man in Finance has going for him, I don't believe is his talent, because I don't think he's necessarily better than a whole bunch of horses in here, is that this race is loaded with speed. And it's not just loaded with speed. It's loaded with speed horses that don't win rating. You know what I mean? Yo
Yeah.
Banana Boy has never won rating. I have no confidence. Tall Paul, never won rating. Fancy Clancy, he doesn't win rating, right? Factually Correct, he doesn't win rating. What's Up Bro, he doesn't win rating. Now, and if one person gets loose in a moderate pace in this race, then there should be an inquisition among the riders as to what the hell happened. Because there are too many forward horses. The horse who's in front, if somebody gets clear, he's got to be going too fast, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, I would think so. It's going to be.
I mean, Tall Paul's going to
Tall
go.
Paul's-
What's Up Bro's got to go.
I think Tall Paul's the speed of the speed.
I mean, I can't believe Ricardo is not going to be at least somewhat aggressive. Yo Banana Boy. I realize they see him more as a horse that's not in front. But once again, Yo Banana Boy has only won races, and here he is last time when he's gone to the lead. He runs okay, but he doesn't win without the lead. He doesn't.
I like the pattern he's in right now, and I'm okay with him sitting off the pace. But you're
I'm not.
right.
He's never
but
won without the lead.
But we'll see. I think Tall Paul's loose in here. I mean, I think he is the speed of the speed.
Man, he's got to go with What's Up Bro. What do you do with Tall Paul, who frankly doesn't even run races on the dirt? He's never run a race on the dirt that's fast enough to win this race.
No.
That's the problem with him. And I'll tell you my problem with Man in Finance. Danny Gargan's stats off of wins in the dirt, they're not that good. And he is coming off an absolutely perfect trip win over Longpour, who came back and didn't win.
But getting a figure in here that no one really has, and he's lightly raced.
And he's probably
It's
going to get a
third
very
off
good
the
trip.
layoff
He's gonna
today.
Get a good trip.
He's faced some really good horses. Shoot It True, who he got beat by in the second start of his career when he went in Stakes Company off a win first time out. He's become a very good horse for Wesley Ward. I know he's become a turf monster, but that's a talented runner. Building off that effort off a 9-month layoff, third back off the bench where he just reproduced the fastest race he's ever run. I see a forward move again where he can sit, and he's not going to be that far back.
No, he's the horse to beat, and he drew extremely well, especially if we have yesterday's track. And my horse cannot win this race on yesterday's racetrack. I don't
Or
believe he could beat the one. What?
Most days.
Well, I wrote this down. There's 3 horses in this race that can win without the lead.
Okay.
And they're the 1, the 6, and the 8. I didn't pick the 6 because I knew my friend David Aragona would pick him. I just knew he couldn't resist this horse. I knew that Dave would see this horse, and this would be but he just couldn't resist. And I just figured I'd give him this 20-1 morning line, who I also don't think is good enough to win anyway. Well, I mean, Brajol has run some races that are close enough to win, and if this race falls apart, isn't he going to come running at the end?
Yeah, to get
He's a horse that
fourth or
if he's a horse that you don't even have to ride him to try to win, because you just have to hope the race falls apart. Now, good luck to him on yesterday's track. We got a fair racetrack. I'm going to take my chances with him at a price because
always out of the gate slow.
he's got no speed. He's a plotter. So I don't even know if he breaks slowly. He just has no speed. He just takes himself out of the races.
It is a little interesting, isn't it, that
I like his post too.
they gave him a sharp
On a
3
fair shot.
furlong kind of tightening drill leading into this start.
I hadn't thought about that. I just saw him as a closer. Well, when did he work 3 furlongs? I have November 1st, his last work.
November 25th.
Oh, okay. What did he work?
It was a bullet, but it was 37 flat for 3 furlongs.
Okay,
But
I
it's
didn't have
maybe
that.
just trying to get him a
For
little
these
sharper
PPs last year, I
because
think.
he's not obviously issues
I
early
don't.
on.
I don't
for
want.
him.
I don't want Lane to do anything. I want him to sit on him and hope the race collapses. You think I'm crazy?
No, look. No,
I played
if you
this-
like him and you're making.
On a fair racetrack, I play this race to fall apart.
I just think there's some talented horses in this race, and he's not one that's shown a ton
problem
of talent.
I have is you've got 5 horses that have never won a race without being the pace.
Yeah.
And I don't like that situation. I have no problem with Man in Finance. He is the worst to beat. He's also going to be 8 to 5 or less. And for me, I'm not taking him at 8-5 off a absolute perfect trap win. And then we come upon today's 9th race. And if you think you've got this one solved, you're a smarter man than me. Greg and I agree, except for me, who went a little crazy with my top choice. But we'll get to him in a moment. We can hold off on the replay for a second. Why don't we talk about more reasonable horses like Waja? Speaking of horses that have burned a lot of money and don't like to win.
Good Lord, yeah. 1
But
for
can win
11
here.
coming in, Waja, who again has a chance, I believe, to control this race from the outset. Was off for 7 months, comes back at 7 furlongs, opens a 4-length lead, tires. I'm okay with that now, to have that second back off the bench, hopefully finish on the front end with an aggressive rider.
You don't think Senior Pickles is supposed to go from the rail?
He can go too. I just
can
he's
Cool Hand
that was
Rich.
and he's a little interesting to me because by the fact that it was a slow race, he won his debut, but he comes back off that long time away. He actually matched that figure,
Let me ask you a question.
but I just think he's too slow.
David has Waja as the 6-1 fifth choice in this race. Which is more likely, that Santa comes down your chimney or this horse is the 5th choice in this race? I'll go with Santa down the chimney.
I'll disagree because I still believe in Santa, and I'm telling I do.
I was watching one of my favorite old shows briefly
What
the
are you
other day.
telling me here?
Bewitched, and there was a great Christmas episode of Samantha and Darren adopting a kid who doesn't believe in Santa Claus, and Samantha takes him up to the North Pole to meet the real Santa Claus. Tremendous. I have no problem with Waja. He would be an A on any ticket I play. I'm totally with you on him. And listen, I think Shoot the Nickel can win. He might just be better than these horses. But if you're not a little scared of this drop down, and he should be favored in this race. I don't disagree with David. I just think it'll be relatively close.
Yeah. And I don't have Doomed, the 8 in there, and I probably should.
I want no part
but
of
he's got to be on tickets, doesn't he, in the last?
Well, yes and no. You know, I've got him 4th. I've got him higher than you. I mean, yeah, he's got to be somewhere. But I'm sorry, I don't love horses that were claimed away and 2 back from Brad Cox and Sandy Goldfarb.
Which is, to me, was a red flag.
And I don't even love the race, and he ran badly. You may get a wet track in here. Okay, we'll look at Come Full Circle winning at Saratoga. And I am going to say right away that, no question, I want to bet on this horse, so he owes me nothing. But let me ask you a question. Is this race that he ran here necessarily so bad that it wouldn't give him a chance to be competitive in here?
Not at all.
And I didn't believe we'd have a racetrack that was, biased, and I don't know that we will. So I didn't take that into account in my handicapping. And I saw a horse that in his next start, he ran against horses he couldn't beat in a million years.
Right.
Then they tried the turf with him. And now he gets in a race where I thought they might be moving a little bit up front. And I'm going to tell you something. You're right about Waja. He may win this race. But how much trust do you have in Waja, who has incinerated money like nobody?
Very low, yeah.
Right, for Chad Brown, no less. So I just thought I could take a little bit of a shot with him again.
No, I saw that. He's very sneaky. I agree with you. And he's 15-1 morning line. Yeah, this, again, 17 non-winners of 2, very, very low trust level of anyone in this field.
That's the way I felt. I agree with you on the 6 and 10. I've got them as my second, third horses. I just wanted to go a little crazy with somebody to price to close things out for me in my handicapping this year here at NYRA. So I went to Come Full Circle. We've come full circle. Anyway, we're done?
I mean, I guess I should say, great year.
Thanks.
Of
Great year with you. It's a
I mean,
pleasure.
we're going to be on the air together, but you're going to be in Jamaica. But enjoy this past year.
Thanks. As have I. We have a lot of fun together. I enjoy working with you, and I feel, it's funny in Saratoga we don't see as much of each other up here, but we spend so much time together, and Greg deserves a lot of credit for putting up with me during the course of the entire year. As most of you know, that's not an easy job. Anyhow, and thank you to everybody out there as well for your support all of the time. And you can support us further by joining NYRA Bets.
Yes.
And we'll give you $200 if you sign up, so what's so bad about that? Bonus $200. Play any track, anywhere through NYRA Bets. We have a $79,410 carryover, pick 6, races 4 through 9. Hopefully we haven't confused you too much heading towards that pick 6. We have a $5,000 hit and split late pick 5 here. You'll want to opt in for that. There is a 10% win bonus at Del Mar, closing day at Del Mar. Matriarch posts is 6:30 for the last grade one before the Malibu.
Okay. On the 26th.
There's a small part of me that's thinking. I'm always thinking about it of going to opening day at Santa Anita.
It's so fun.
I know. It's one of my
really
favorite
is.
racing days of the year. I always handicap that card, and I watch those races, and I have so much love for Santa Anita, as I know you do as well. You've spent a lot more time there than I have. Santa Anita is one of the greatest tracks on earth.
That view, looking at those mountains, it's majestic.
It's a great,
It really
great
is.
place, and you know, well, I wish them. I hope they have a long future. And also, Churchill, Eddie has fixed this. Eddie's taking full responsibility for this.
Pratt sighting.
Churchill, it was definitely on Eddie. Win bet at Churchill down. You were doing that to see if I was paying attention, Eddie. Who are you kidding? 10% win, I suppose. Their closing day is also today. They have a carryover in their rainbow bet. And show 12 to 2:30 on FS1, 2:30 to 4:30 on FS2. Join us there. Thank you for joining us here, Chris Griffin. He is up next with a reprise. Scratch and changes. Enjoy the day.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200